Hello, everyone, and welcome. As you can see from the slide and may have heard already, Connecticut PTAC is now called Connecticut Apex Accelerator. Apex is not an acronym, it is a standalone name. And the significance that we aim for is to assist businesses reach their apex in the government marketplace. My name is Marisol Rivera, and I am part of a strong team of 5 specialists. My colleagues are Jamie Yan, who's also our data analyst, Elisa Young, Ishrat Nazmi, and Meredith Glasgow. Our virtual Doing Business With series provides you with the opportunity to engage directly with prime contractors. And we are fortunate to have Veronica Cook from UConn Supplier Diversity Program kick off our 2023 virtual Doing Business With series. We want you to stay engaged throughout the presentation, so please send your questions via the Q&A box and we will address them at the end. This Apex Accelerator is funded in part through a cooperative agreement with the Department of Defense. Matching funds are provided by Connecticut's Department of Economic and Community Development. Our host agency is Southeastern Connecticut Enterprise Region Sector. All attendees are muted right now, but questions will be answered at the end. This webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to you afterwards. And you can also access this webinar along with others from our on-demand video library. Next, please. From this slide, you can see the services that are provided free of cost with Connecticut Apex. We provide technical assistance, guidance, education, and training to help businesses build their government acumen to get you closer to winning contracts. The goal for today's session is how to become subcontractors. Next. We have offices located throughout the entire state, and we welcome clients to schedule in-person meetings in our offices, at your offices, as well as virtual. Next, please. Engage with us on social media, and please share Connecticut Apex with your colleagues as well. We are the only organization in the state that works exclusively with contractors. If you're new to us and would like to discuss our services, register online. Today's agenda looks like this. Veronica will talk about how do suppliers locate UConn Supplier Diversity Program, what products or services UConn is looking to buy in the next 6 to 12 months, where to find UConn Opportunities, and we'll end with Q&A. Next. Now, without further delay, I'll turn it over to Veronica Cook, who's been with us before. But Veronica, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself before you begin?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for choosing to attend this webinar to learn more about the University of Connecticut. For my part, I have worked for the University of Connecticut for this year, it will be 29 years. Our program is 18 years old as of this year, our Supplier Diversity Program. And I have been the leader of the program and actually created the program from its inception in 2005. So it has been a growing entity and we have been recognized for the efforts that we have put forth. It is a very intentional program. A lot of thought has gone into making sure that we are responding to the concerns of our community and those who want to do business with the university. We've had a lot of different, the program has reported to a lot of different leaders, but it has stayed the course as those leaders have come and gone. So we thank you for continuing your interest in doing business with the University of Connecticut as we've gone through the different changes that have occurred. And I think that's as much about me as you might want to know. Marisol, did you have any other questions?
No, that is great. Thank you, Veronica.
Okay. So I'm going to get started. And I want to again thank you all, those of you who have chosen to be a part of this webinar today, to learn more about how to go about doing business with the University of Connecticut. We do understand that the process can be daunting if you don't know where to start, if you don't know who to talk to, what commodities belong to what groups of people. And so we want to make sure that we take some of that mystery out for you today about what the university, what our commodities are, what our opportunities are, where to find us on the web pages, how to navigate and become more a part of what we do, register yourself so that you can be found most easily. When our departments are looking for your services or your products, we want to make sure that all of that is a little bit more clear to you at the end of this webinar so that you walk away with the tools that you need. So we'll start with the Supplier Diversity webpage, and we'll start with that because that is what I represent. I work in the University Business Services Office, which consists of procurement. It's procurement on the capital project side, which is our construction and our professional services. And then it's our procurement on our commodity side that has to do with every other commodity that we purchase from the for the university, for our departments, our faculty, our staff, and our students. So we have two sides of procurement, but they all fall under the umbrella of University Business Services. And right smack in the middle of all of that is the Supplier Diversity Program. I come out and meet with those of you who attend the matchmakers. I attend those matchmakers with you so that you are then connected back to the university, to our procurement office, and to those category managers who manage the categories and the commodities that you are looking to bring to the university for services or product. I'm going to take you to our page, to our Supplier Diversity webpage, because I think it's important that you know how to get there. So let me share that. So here you have the department. No, I'm going back. And now we're on the Supplier Diversity webpage.
Yes.
And hopefully everyone can see that. So here we have the Supplier Diversity webpage, and it is the University of Connecticut. We want to, when you enter this page, we want you to find the things that you need to get started. One of the things that we do acknowledge is that the aspirations of small and minority businesses that are trying to do business with the University of Connecticut, but we understand that there are challenges. And so I want to make sure that anybody entering this page understands that we understand that the aspirations of a smaller minority business are the same aspirations as a larger business. You want to grow your business, you want to contribute to your communities, you want to establish clientele with the university, you want to build relationships, and you want to leave with some solvency as well. You want to grow your business. And so we start there. The next thing that we focus on are the core values of Supplier Diversity, which are to encourage participation, which is why we're at those matchmakers to begin with. And so we're looking at those, we're encouraging you to be a part of our going out and looking at our pages to see where the opportunities are, when things are going to be coming up, when they're going to be coming due, what our contracts currently are, so that you know who your competition is. If something is being renewed, you know who has already been on those contracts. And so all of these links on this page, on the Supplier Diversity page, takes you to all of those places. There are many ways to get to those links, but to put them all here makes it easier for you so that you have a one-stop that you can go to. But if you get lost at the top of all of our UBS pages, our University Business Services pages is a link to University Business Services, so that it takes you into purchasing, it takes you into construction. In a few minutes, I'm going to go over the opportunities that are available right now and that are coming up in the 6 to 12 month period. But first, I want just so that you know that you can come here, that you can find in this area, you can find what, information that's specific to contractors, vendors, and service providers. Our university departments need to know how they can assist us in being more inclusive in the way that they procure, because we are decentralized in our purchasing. So we want to make sure that they understand supply diversity is important, not just to the supply diversity program, but also to the University of Connecticut, and them being a part of the University of Connecticut and having the privilege of purchasing for this university, for our institution. They need to be mindful that there are smaller minority businesses out in the state of Connecticut that want to do business with us, as well as federally certified, WeBank certified, Greater New England Minority Supply Development Council certified. We want to make sure that they understand that you exist and that you are knocking on our doors. And sometimes you don't know where to knock, but they need to go and find you. And we give them ways that they can do that. So that's for the university departments. And then there's some information about how to do business with UConn as well. Current contracts, you can click in that and you can see what contracts already exist. And so that you know when they expire, who's responsible for them, and when you should be looking in again to find information about due dates and all of that. Current opportunities, again, I'm going to go over the following slides will take us to that as well, so that you know when those things are coming up. But I want also for you to understand that in order to get connected, because that's a question that comes up, is how do we get connected and how do we get into your or register is a word that I hear often. It's not a registration per se. It's more you're going into SMBE Connect. You're clicking on this symbol and you're putting your information in. It's a very quick establishment of a relationship with us so that we can put you on our page that then highlights you so that we can, so if you look on the SMBE resources page and you go down to prospective SMBE contractors, vendors, and consultants, once you have completed that SMBE Connect, that takes about 2 to 3 minutes to complete, my assistant on the backside is verifying your certification for whatever you say that you are for as an SMBE. You will then land on this page. And it does look like this. And so your name shows up, your contact information, your capability statement, and whatever it is that you want to bring to the university. This is then accessible by our university departments, as well as our purchasing category managers, our contractors. So if they're looking for something in particular, they can put a keyword in here and pull your information up. You will be the ones that will pop up here. And if you're Department of Administrative Services certified, your information that you put as a product description on that page, this will search on that as well. So that we have to connect with our buying departments. I'm going to go back, but to connect with our buying departments, we also, in order for them to get their pro cards, they have to go through a training, our departments, to say that they are aware of supply diversity, of our commitment to inclusion. They know about smaller minority businesses wanting to do business with the university. They have a better idea of what all of that means. And then they know what their part is in helping us to be successful in our inclusive commitment. And so we lead them back at the end of that training to that prospective page so that they can see that these are entities that have reached in and said, we're interested in doing business with the university. So maybe when you're looking for something, you can come out and you can find us here. They can also go out to the DAS website and find those of you who have taken the time to get certified out there on the DAS website as well. So going back, I'm going to go back into our PowerPoint. All right. All right. So that is how you get to the supplier diversity webpage. And once you are registered on our SMBE Connect, or once you've established that relationship through the SMBE Connect, it connects you directly to the buying professional that is responsible for your commodity. An email goes to them, and an email also comes to the Supplier Diversity Program so that we can follow up with them. But they should be responding to you directly because you've reached in and let them know we're interested in learning more about a certain commodity that we want to bring. We want to know what contracts exist right now. It may not be apparent on our websites. And so that gives you an opportunity to ask them questions about those things. And so we want you to make sure that you take advantage of that as well. I'm going to now go into what products or services UConn will be looking for in the next 6 to 12 months. So facilities, this is our facilities group. They are part of capital projects and facilities procurement. And these are some of the things they could not give exact dates. But I'm also going to take you back to their page so that you can see exactly where to go to look so that you know to check on a regular basis and know when those opportunities actually come to bear. But these are some of the things that are coming up in facilities. Information technology. While this isn't all that they could give me, this is what they had at the time. There'll be other things that will be coming out as well. And again, we'll go out to the page so that you can see when those things come out, what to be looking for. Business support services has taken on a new life. It's kind of split itself out. So part of the category is business support services. It is now, we have a new category manager for another portion of this. And it may have all, you may be used to have, you might have seen it all as one entity in the past, but now there are two different portions to that. And so we have a new category manager and a new team that is starting up to handle these specific commodities. But these are the things that are coming up in the next 6 to 12 months for business support services. This is the second part of that team. It is, they're two separate category managers. They're now two separate category groups. And these are some of the things that will be coming out. You can see that a couple things were put out to bid already at the end of December, and they will be coming due at the beginning of February. So time is of the essence on those things. This is our research category, and these are some of the things that will be coming forth for them. And understand that when you see that a contract is ending on a certain date, that normally they go out, they start looking probably 6 months prior for the whole process will start, the whole solicitation process will start probably 6 months prior to the actual due date or contract end date. So they can get all of that established, the bidding, the RFI, the closing, the contracting, all of that has to take place in order for a new contract to be in place at the end of that, the old contract ending. And this is a lot that's going on with our construction. We have a lot going on with them. Hundreds of millions of dollars on design build projects, on construction management at risk projects, on our day-to-day. We have contracts that are 0 to 100 that are established for just small and minority business utilization. They are 0 to just under 100,000. And then we have another group that is 100,000 to 500,000. And these are trade contracts that we have in existence under construction. And some of those will be expiring, that the trade small and minority business contracts will be expiring next year. We have the on-call professionals, which are architects, our surveyors, our engineers. Those will be expiring, I believe it's fall. Let's see. They will be out on those professional contracts, that those solicitations will be out for pre-qualification early fall. And also our 100 to 500,000 construction, the trade contracts will be out for solicitation early fall as well. Right now, as we go into February, they will analyze how the utilization has been for those contracts up to this time for the period that we've just accomplished, and decide what professional services they will continue with, what on-call 100 to 500,000 they will continue with, and any new categories that need to be added. So that will all be established through analysis in February, and then in early fall, you should see some solicitations coming out for those so that we can re-up on that, and know that those contracts are 3 years long. So we want to make sure that you're aware in advance that they're coming out so you can start getting ready for them. So where do you go to find UConn Opportunities? I'm going to do a new share and go out to our page again. And so again, I had told you that when you're on any of our pages, you can just go to University Business Services. And so when you click on University Business Services, you will find capital project and facilities procurement, as you see here. You will find purchasing. So if we're looking at, the first thing that I want to do is go out to the purchasing webpage. And you'll see here that you can click on commodities. This is where you're going to see if there's not a specific something, if this kind of breaks down for you the different commodities and who they belong to. What they've done here now is, in the past, I would take you out of here and take you to the About Us on our page so that you would see where the email addresses are to contact these individuals. What they've done is they've upgraded or fixed our webpage so that now you can find it all in one place. You can see as you scroll down on the commodity listing, what the different commodities are, what the commodity groupings are. You can see I had mentioned that we used to have just business services, and now that is two separate categories. And I know I'm scrolling a little bit fast for you, but you can click, you can see that the category managers are listed as well as their assistants and the different groupings, their phone numbers, and their email addresses. I would suggest that email is the best way to contact anyone that you're trying to contact in UBS, because we are still on a hybrid model for working in the office. So we work in the office 2 days per week, and we work from home 3 days per week. So not knowing which days each commodity group is in the office, it's easiest for you to reach them by email and establish a contact that way. In addition to doing the SMBE Connect, so that you're directly connected to them by through that email that introduces you to them with your capability statement and business card or whatever it is that you want to upload. All of that information goes right to their desk so that they know that you are reaching in to learn more about how to do business with the university. That also establishes you on our Husky Buy system, which when we put solicitations out, that is also category driven so that it knows who to send those solicitations to based on the categories that you connected with when you first signed up on the SMBE Connect. So you'll get an invitation to become a potential supplier on Husky Buy as well as a result of going into SMBE Connect. So it is advantageous for you to start there on that supply diversity page. But this is where you go. And the whole point of showing you this page is because you need to be empowered to reach out directly to the buyers, to the category managers and their teams. I can introduce you to them, but it's important that you understand how to go out and find them, how to reach in directly and let them know that you're interested in doing business. And you can feel free to use my name and let them know that you and I, you attended a webinar where I was talking about all of this, and that you're interested in learning more about whatever it is that you're interested in learning more about, and move from there. And also always CC veronica.cook@uconn.edu or supplydiversity@uconn.edu, and that will make sure that we have some accountability and you get the responses that you need in the timely fashion. So this is our commodity list. So make sure that you are aware of how to find that. Again, that's on our purchasing website. And you'll also find contracts here. You'll find what contracts we already have in existence. These are contracts that are specifically done by not the capital project and contract and facilities procurement side, but the purchasing side. Again, I told you we have two sides of the house that are procurement for UBS. So this is the purchasing side. And these are some contracts that are in existence right now. And it lets you know when they're going to be expiring, so that you have an idea of when we'll be going out again. And if there's something that is not up to date, if there's a question about it, you now know who to contact to ask questions about when they think that we'll be going out again. Because we want to make sure that we respect your time, that you're not reaching in at a time that's not opportune for us or for you. So this is where our contracts exist. And then going back out, there are different training guides. And so this is an area where you, knowing where all of this is, if you want to learn more about the different policies at UConn with regard to purchasing, you can click into this training guides link and do your homework on that, so that when you do reach or contact with the category manager, you've already answered some of your own questions, but there may be other questions that are sparked as a result of reading that. You know what to ask, and you're making the best use of your time, because they may only give you a half an hour of conversation. And so you want to make sure that you're making the best use and that you have questions that were not already obviously answered out here. And then we get to the bid opportunities. This is where you go for that listing, for each of those listings that I showed you, for each of those commodity groups. This is where you would go to know when those are actually out on the street. You want to have someone dedicated to checking this page on a daily basis if there's certain things that you're looking to do at the university. If you've already established that there's a contract that's going to be in existence for another few years, our contracts are sometimes 3 years long with options to extend for a year and then a year and then a year. So so you want to make sure that you know what our contract period is already, so that you know when to start looking for the opportunities for the next contract period. And so this is where you would go, and you would scroll down and you can see the contact's name is there. You can actually click on the information to find out more about the bid and documents and all of that. Everything is very transparent. It's out here. And hopefully it will help you, but your questions are very important as well. So make sure that you ask questions. So that is how we are structured in the purchasing side. And then we have the capital project side, which is our construction, our professional services. Again, those architect, engineers, surveyors, all of those PMOs, all of that. So you can click on capital projects. And here you will find, if you click up here, you will see the different types of contracts that I mentioned to you. Professional services, we have on-call professional services, And so this is the list of those. This is the list of the 0 to 100s, which are only small and minority businesses. And those small and minority businesses are those that are certified in the state of Connecticut under DAS. The GC and trade contracts that are 100 to 500,000 are a mix of others as well. And so these are the ones that are going to be expiring shortly. And so we'll be going out in early fall to pre-qualify for the new grouping. But you can click on these. This is the great part of this. These two groups right here are going out in early fall. You can click on them to see who is right now on those contracts so that you know who your competition is already, and you can know who is actually on them. And if you want to see what the solicitation looked like the last time, to better prepare yourself, drop me an email so that I can get that information for you, so that you can, kind of know what the different entities of that solicitation are that you want to start making sure that you are ready for. This is where you find the existing contracts for capital projects and facilities procurement. As you scroll down, you'll see that this is the bid opportunities, and you click on that, and you'll find it's built the same way as the purchasing page. You can see who the buyer is, who the category manager is for the projects that are being put out, all the information, clicking in and going through all of that. This is where you will find all of that information. I'm going to click out of this now and go back to our presentation. So this is that is where you will find our opportunities. I'm going to go down here. There are certain things that you want to make sure that you prepare yourself with. One of them is to make sure that you are a supplier that is registered in the state of Connecticut. And you can go to DAS's website and make sure that that is the case, and whatever you have to do to make sure that you are, you're in the right place and that you're well positioned to participate in our bid process. You also want to be familiar with the state contracting portal, so that you know when bids are out on the street, they're always on the bid portal. Anything that UConn is putting out, we put it on the bid portal. So that's going to, if you're already set up for daily notifications, that will be something that will come to you readily on a daily basis. And you can just click on UConn and it will bring you to the page that it'll let you know what open bids we have out. And you'll find the same kinds of things that you saw when I was just scrolling on the purchasing page, as well as the capital project and facilities procurement page, their opportunities page. You'll find that same information on the DAS bid solicitation portal. And then the contract board, you can go out and you can see what contracts are already in existence for the state of Connecticut, because sometimes the University of Connecticut will go out and utilize those contracts that are already established by the state of Connecticut. And so you want to make sure that if there are opportunities out there that are that meet your qualification and specification, that you get on those contracts, because we can access those as well from the University of Connecticut. So I want to go through some of the things that we have found as we've gone through me talking to the category managers. I meet with the category managers on a monthly basis, each team separately, to talk to them about anyone that has reached into us that has been has any concerns or anything. And that's why it's important that you provide feedback whenever you can, provide feedback to us to either my direct email address or to the supplydiversity@uconn.edu email address. Provide your feedback of concerns that you might have, or different things that might be obstacles that are removable, that don't make sense for you wanting to do business with the university, but you're hitting against walls. And so I have conversations with them, and I also want to showcase vendors at these meetings as well when we meet monthly, even if it's a 10-minute showcase or 15-minute showcase, so that they know who you are. You have a chance to introduce yourself, and then as a part of our regular meeting that is something that I want to make sure that we continue to establish that in 2023. So make sure that you reach out and establish yourself that way and let us know that that's something you're interested in. But talking about stumbling blocks, now I'm going to go through stumbling blocks and suggestions at the same time. And I'm going to put them, I put them in a certain order for myself so that it makes sense, hopefully for you as well. The first thing is make sure that you are licensed to do business in the state of Connecticut. And you want to start working on the requirements early. So when you're out on our page and you're looking at our the solicitation, and when you click on it, you're going to see all the different requirements and all of that. There's a lot of paperwork normally involved, but everything is now, a lot of our solicitations, most of them are online now in our Husky Buy system. So, but you want to take a look at it, read it carefully, and understand what it is that we are asking for this particular product or service that we are soliciting for. You want to start working on the requirements early. And if you know it's coming soon, start talking to, if you got some financial stuff that you want to get right, or that you want to tweak, or whatever it is, start talking to your accountants, because we understand that, you know, that can take months to complete. And so we want to make sure that you have enough time to get things together and then engage. You want to make sure that you are, at the end of the day, you understand that the technical requirements that we put in those solicitations, you have to meet those requirements in order for, you know, to be selected. So you want, in order to be for the highest potential of success, you want to make sure that you understand exactly what we're looking for, do your homework, understand what the specifications are so that you don't waste your time. And then you want to provide clear and concise responses to the specific bid questions. You don't want to miss or step over any of the questions, because all of the questions have to be answered. Pricing and scoring, that there's all of that we take into consideration. And then there's just a combined scoring that takes place. So all of that is normally outlined, like what is the criteria of selecting you. Most of that is normally pretty clear in the solicitation, but there's an RFI format as well. And so you don't want to miss that. You want to make sure that you're looking at the dates for that and that you're asking questions. Don't assume that you know the answer. Get a written response on the answer that you're looking for, and ask questions to see what others have asked. That might help you. When you're looking at the RFI answers, others might have asked the same questions that you're looking for, and so you want to pay attention to that as well, the clarifications that come out, and but ask the questions and do it within the period that you're given for that RFI. You want to make sure that you finish the RFP. Make sure that all of the areas are complete. And so you want to follow the bid instructions. You want to make sure that you're looking at the terms and conditions, because you can't, as the saying goes, change horses in the middle of the stream. Whatever you put on the RFP online, it has to carry through to the contract signing if it's awarded to you. So you want to make sure that you understand the terms and conditions. You want to understand what documents are mandatory. It's not compliant if it's not complete. So you want to make sure that everything is complete. The other piece is, so responding in a timely fashion, making sure that you don't wait until the last day to respond, or the last hour, or the last minute to submit your proposal, because anything can happen, a glitch in your computer, anything can happen. And you don't want that to be, after going through all of that work, that last minute for it to all tank. You want to confirm that the UConn bid manager has received the response. And you want to do this prior to the closing date, if possible, in case you have to resubmit something. Okay, so these are some of the tips that are really important. Again, I mentioned earlier about a 3-year engagement is the norm. with maybe 2 1-year renewal options. So that's a long period of time that those contracts are tied up, that there's no opportunity. So you want to make sure that you're ready, that you're checking our website on a regular basis, and that you're ready to engage now. If you feel that you have something of value to bring to the university and you want to establish that relationship. And I believe, and then insurance requirements. There are some things that require insurance. So you want to make sure that you meet the thresholds for the insurance. All of this stuff, all of these things are things that you can do. But understand that we are also a resource to you. The Supply Diversity Program is a resource to you. If you have questions that need answering, that's something that needs to be more clear, because we understand that there is a lot of paperwork. If you've never worked with us before, it can be daunting, as I said at the very start of this presentation. And so we do serve as a resource to you, but we want you to be able to fish for yourself also, to find the category managers that are responsible for the commodities that you are looking to bring, and to feel free to establish a relationship with them so that you can reach in and ask questions whenever you need to. We try to be as transparent as possible. I mentioned the core values of the Supply Diversity Program, and one of them is encouraging your participation. That is why I'm taking time today to talk to you about how to do business with the university. We want to encourage you to be a part of the process. We welcome you. And if you ever don't feel welcome, it's important that you communicate that. One of the things that I do as an advocate for you is I'm sitting in meetings with the associate vice president and chief procurement officer to talk about obstacles and different things that we need to look at to make sure that we're removing those things. And so understand that it's a learning process as well. Our current AVP CPO has been with us for about 1.5 years now. And so there's a learning process with that and the navigating the different obstacles that are outlined, and how do we look at how they were established and how do we remove them. It's important that we make progress as a university and being even more inclusive going forward. So those conversations, I want you to be assured, are taking place on a regular basis, and because you matter. And that is why one of the things that I do say is, please do not stop knocking until you get an answer. You have to be persistent. We want you to be empowered to be your own advocate, but understand that we are advocating for you as well in the UConn Supply Diversity Program. And so this is our contact information. Hopefully you've had a chance to write it down. And you can always Google us as well and find us UConn Supply Diversity Program. And hopefully you'll get where you need to get. And just check out all of the different tabs to make sure that you're getting all the information that you can to be as successful, have the tools that you need to be as successful as possible in your quest to work with the university. And at this time, I will turn it back to Marisol for questions and answers.
Veronica, I feel so inspired, very much. There's so many highlights to your presentation. And for me, a few of them include those opportunities that seem so tangible to me. And I hope that our clients are able to take full advantage of those upcoming opportunities. You mentioned, you shared so much valuable information. And again, these opportunities are tangible. And thank you for those tips and those strategies. And we understand that that's going to take time, a lot of time for businesses to go to the website, research, do the research. You know, when you're doing this research, you're going to come up with ideas and solutions and be ready when you do get in front of those buyers. That's going to take time. And the capability statement that you mentioned. Question, Veronica, should they update the capability statement that will be sent to these UConn buyers should they update it with the commodity codes? Because I think right now what they have are the NAICS codes. Would you recommend that they add the commodity codes?
I would say put both.
Okay.
Absolutely. But if there's anyone on this call that has already done the S&B Connect and you've uploaded your capability statement, if anything relevant changes, other than the next code or the commodity code, if something else relevant changes, whatever it is, you can still send it to us. You can send it to supplydiversity@uconn.edu, and we'll make sure that we update it on your S&B Connect profile that has been sitting out on the prospective SMBE page.
Great, thank you for that. So we do have a few questions, and I'll start reading it.
Sure.
The first question is, do we have to register everything if we already have a SAM cage code issued and is active?
So the SAM
yes.
cage code, what we're doing, so SMB Connect, if you have a SAM cage code, we'll be able to find you and verify that you are in fact federally certified. That then positions you to be put on our prospective page. You all know also that DAS now requires a SAM registration in order to be certified in the state of Connecticut as a small and minority business. So what we do is we're just verifying that you are in fact small and minority business, because we're not putting anyone on our page, on that prospective page, that is not. It wouldn't be fair to those that are. We want to make sure that there is more. These are those that are historically underutilized. We want to make sure that there is attention brought to you, that you are trying to do business with the university. You've reached in, you've put your capability statement out there, and that you are, you're ready to engage. So so we want to make sure that they're pointed there. So if you have a SAM cage code, then yay, you're ready to, and you haven't certified yet with DAS, then you've already done part of the step, and you can, that's part of your registration with them, the certification with DAS. But for us, if it's out there, we can go out to sam.gov and see that you are in fact certified with or registered with SAM, and we'll make sure that you get on our page.
So the next step for them is that they apply for the SBE MBE certification through the state of Connecticut, DAS. Yes.
That is important, because as a state entity, we are a state agency. And so our statutes that govern the University of Connecticut and our utilization, the ones that we establish our goals on, and the ones that we actually report on a quarterly basis, those are all, we can only use those that are certified in the state of Connecticut by the Department of Administrative Services. We are not a reciprocal state. Unfortunately, the University of Connecticut falls under all of that protocol. So, but we encourage, because we are part of Greater New England Minority Supply Development Council, we try and engage with the events that are happening with WeBank as well. So we are interested, and we want to make sure that you are also, that your names are out there, so that people know that you're looking to do business as well. We may not have it counted toward our reporting, but we are making sure that that business gets into the hands of small businesses and minority businesses.
Great, thank you for that. Next question. Does UConn entertain unsolicited proposals such as assessments of policies and practices that may contribute to inequities?
Assessments of policies, that would be more of an administrative, well, I mean, it's conversations that I absolutely want to have. If there are certain things that are identified that other people looking from the outside are seeing that they want to discuss. Here's what happens. If the voice that is sounding is only mine, and it doesn't appear that we have like evidence, like there's nothing to back it, like contractors or service providers reaching in to say, this is something that we've identified as something that the university should be looking at. That's something that helps me to help you. So if you identify certain things like that, those are conversations that we would absolutely have. So as far as our policies and changing our policies, those are the things that get our policies changed, because we have to examine, how did these policies come into existence to begin with? Like, why were they established? Do they make sense now? And are there things that we can do to make things better and more inclusive? Are there things that we can do to remove the barriers? We have, so if we're looking at examining certain the way that departments are structured, or efficiencies and those kinds of things, we have certain on-call professional contracts that we establish, pre-qualify for. And that's one of the things I was talking about for early fall. And so some of those categories are things that those that are on the call can go and look. at the existing professional services contracts to see what we have out there, and also the purchasing contracts to see if what they want to bring or what they want to discuss about their service is something that the university might be interested in, or it might be something new that they want to engage with us for. But the conversation has to start somewhere, and you can look at the commodity groupings to see who those conversations should start with.
Great, thank you for that. Next question, are there opportunities for Stanford campus only?
If there is something for Stanford campus, it's still going to fall under our purchasing opportunities, because our purchasing department covers not only the Storrs campus, but all of our regional campuses as well. The University of Health Center, the UConn Health Center, has their own purchasing department, but anything that has to do with bond funding or anything like that with capital projects and facilities procurement, that would still come through our capital projects and facilities procurement office, because all UConn 2000 stuff is handled through the Storrs campus.
Next question, are there any vendor outreach sessions, any events coming up, Veronica, on your end that they can attend?
Not through we just came through the Connecticut Growth Summit, I believe it was.
Yes.
Supplier Growth Summit. We just finished that. That was a matchmaker, 2-day matchmaker that people could sign up for and do a 15-minute speed dating.
Yeah.
We just completed that in November, and then we went into the holidays, and then we're doing this. We are.
Okay.
I don't have at the top of my head right at this moment anything else that's
Well,
coming up. I don't think I have anything.
I do want to let you, don't forget, we're expecting you, well, let me tell everyone, in August of 2023, we are going to host the Northeast Regional Matchmaker Business Training and Resource Fair, and UConn will be one of the participants during the all-day matchmaker event. And
Yes.
there's more information to follow, but it's going to include many of Connecticut-based primes as well as large businesses that are looking to do business with subcontractors. So there's more information to follow. Again, the name of the event is the Northeast Regional Matchmaker Business Training and Resource Fair. That's going to it's a 2-day event. It's going to happen on August 2nd and 3rd or August 9th and 10th. And right now we're just solidifying the venue and more information to follow, but Veronica Cook and her team will be there.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Next question is, oh, this is a nice one. This is from one of the participants. This is awesome. As a UConn alum, I'm super excited for the opportunities, and that's a thank you to you, Veronica. This is.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Next one. Do you also handle work with the UConn Foundation?
I personally do not, and I'm not sure how the connection works with our category managers and whether or not they're engaged with them. I would imagine that anything that is being purchased, whether through any entity at the university, would come through our purchasing department. But I'm not sure exactly that connection. If there's something more specific to that question that I can get an answer for, I will absolutely do that.
Okay. And then the last question we have here is, do you have opportunities for logistics and transportation services?
Yes, so that would be, that would be just kind of looking at the different opportunities as they're coming out, and looking at those different categories that I put out. If there's anything coming out with regard to that, it's going to be on one of those lists. It's going to be on one of those pages. So here's the other piece. Do not be shy about of giving you the commodity list, so you know which areas, how they're broken down. The commodities are broken down. You know what the category managers' names and phone numbers and email addresses are. Feel free to type out a question by email and send that to them to ask them, if there's anything that you should be looking at right now, if there's anything coming down the pike, because they can answer that directly. This is something that they focus on daily, their specific categories. So we want to make sure that you are in the best hands to get the answers that you need, specifically for the categories you want to bring.
Great. Another question, are there any interpreting translations contract opening soon? Translation, well, they would have to refer.
Exactly. It would be the same. It would be the same, same answer as the last. It would be to go and look, because I know that there is a category under, I believe it's either business support services or the new category that we've established that you would want to go and look to see and just ask the question of the category manager or their assistants to see when that might be coming out. Also, don't forget to check the current contracts, because it may be under there already, and it may tell you when the expiration date is, so that you know when to start looking again.
Great, thank you for that, Veronica. Can you please go to the next slide? Reminder, everyone, that we invite you to visit our calendar page for upcoming events. In fact, there's one happening tomorrow. The Connecticut Subcontractors Association is hosting a networking event, and it's going to include a panel discussion on SBE, MBE, DOC, DBE related issues, and I'll be there. So maybe you can join us in that. You can find more information on our calendar page. And here we are. We have reached the end, and on behalf of Connecticut Apex, Veronica, thank you for spending time with us and for this incredibly informative presentation with opportunities and points of contact. Any last words you'd like to share?
Yes. I again want to thank everyone who took time out of their busy schedules to sign up to come and hear. Maybe it's not the first time that you've heard all of this. But you took the time to come out and get a refresher on how to do business with the University of Connecticut. Understand that I do this work every day because I love this work. I love being a resource to you. And so you're never an inconvenience. Please feel free to use the emails. And if you can't reach me, reach my assistant so that we can get you the response that you're looking for. We never want you to feel that you're not welcome at the University of Connecticut. We want you to know that what you bring is valuable, and we understand that, and we want you to get the respect and the response that you deserve. If you have concerns about our processes or a project that you worked on, or you just trying to reach someone or whatever it is, just be specific when you're bringing your concern, so that we can zero in on what the problem is and get you the help that you need in as quick time period as possible. We respect you, we appreciate you, and we thank you.
Thank you for continued support, Veronica. And everyone, my name is Marisol, and I represent Connecticut Apex, and there are 4 more of us counselors, and they include Jamie Yang, Elisa Young, Ishra Nosby, and Meredith Glasgow. And we're here to support you reach your apex in government contracting. And we look forward to seeing you along with Veronica Cook and her team in August for the Northeast Regional Matchmaker Business Training and Resource Fair. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.